Welcome to the Sensual Feminine Life podcast. I am your host, Jen Bagaiski, where I will take you on a deep dive into your own life so that hidden, hurting parts of your soul can be healed. This is a podcast about love, sex, pleasure, and relationships. You will learn how to feel safe, to truly love and connect with your body. Surrender to the desires and hungers of your soul and step into the beautiful, sensual, feminine, sexy, and powerful woman you were created to be. I believe deeply in my soul that sexuality is the missing key in personal growth and development. It is time to toss away all of the nonsense you have been taught about these taboo topics and heal your relationship to your sexuality. You can eliminate shame and guilt, own your sexy confidence, feel incredible in your skin, embrace the depths of exquisite pleasure, and have the deeply connected relationships you truly desire. Grab your cozy socks, pour yourself a glass of wine, get comfy, and let's get started.
Hello, everyone. This is your host, Jen Badaiski, with our very first episode of the Sensual Feminine Life podcast. And today, what I want to do is share with you a little bit of my personal story, as well as the value in owning your sexuality, as it truly is the key to freedom in life, love, and relationships. So, why am I so passionate about this topic? Let me share the beginning of my journey with you. And it starts with the fact that about 9 years ago, right around my 40th birthday, there were two big choices that I made. The first choice was that I wanted to invest in me. I knew if I wanted to do something more with my life and my business, that I needed to take a big leap. And I'm going to talk about that particular leap in a future podcast. But it was the second one that I want to talk about here because it actually gets into diving into that sexuality component. So the second choice was that I did not want a marriage like my parents. My parents were two very, very loving people. They were very devout in their Catholic faith, and they stayed married together until my dad passed away. However, they were not what I would look at as the epitome of a great marriage, right? Something that as a little girl, when you think about what marriage and relationships are meant to be, that's not what was modeled for me. And on my 40th birthday, my ex-husband and I were actually at a marriage encounter meeting. We were part of a group called Worldwide Marriage Encounter, which is a variety of couples who would get together to work on their marriages. And I remember we were sitting in circle. I could feel my heart pounding. My hands were shaking and I was sweating. And that's when in our circle time, I shared in front of 15 other couples, I don't want a marriage like my parents. And it was really hard saying that, especially because my parents are very well known in the Catholic community, and many of these people knew who they were. And it was such a release to be able to claim this desire that I really, really wanted something more. I didn't know how to do it. But in that moment, in that circle, being witnessed by all of these other couples, I was engaged with such love and warmth and compassion. There was no judgment, just pure love. And after that evening, I remember going to confession and saying to the priest that I wanted to bring God into the center of my marriage. I didn't know exactly what I needed to do, but please help me. And a couple of days after that confession, I had what I like to call the sex dream. And I was like, what, God? Why are you showing me this? And I had this dream that there was this beautiful, gorgeous, put together woman in green lingerie dancing for my husband. And I remember thinking to myself, why is this showing up? I really don't understand. And I brought it to this group that I was in that I just signed up for. And they had said, Jen, who was the woman in the dream? And I said, oh my goodness, she was a mom on my son's hockey team. She was the mom that was totally put together. She had her nails done, her hair done. She had really cute clothes, cute shoes, nice designer purse. She was the bomb put together. And they then reflected back to me and said, you're the woman in the dream, right? And I thought to myself, really? If I'm the woman in this dream, then what am I hiding from? I want to be this beautiful, gorgeous woman dancing and loving my husband and myself. But something was getting in the way of me being able to feel like I was beautiful, sexy, and confident. So I decided to go on a mission. And that mission was about healing my sexuality and understanding, why did I not feel that I was beautiful, sexy, and gorgeous? Now, at that time, I knew I had had some sexual trauma in my life in the past, and I didn't really think much of it until this time. And at that point, I decided to dive into doing some of the healing work from some of my past experiences. And what I found was not just healing of shame and guilt, but the depths of self-love, self-respect, self-worth, and self-pleasure that I never even dreamed was possible. No one had ever modeled that to me. No one had ever explained or showed that to me. And I remember being on a retreat a couple of months after I started this program, and I felt my body for the very first time. Up until that point in time, I had been numb. And so many of you women out there listening to this, you know who you are. You know how you felt, right? You feel empty. You feel numb. You feel like you are just going through the motions of every day. But this particular day, I literally felt like I had a body. And I can remember just gently caressing my hand and touching the skin on my arms. And literally, it almost kind of felt like an out-of-body experience because we live in our bodies every day, right? But so many of us take advantage of our bodies. We do not know how to connect with them. In fact, there is so much disgust or hatred or not liking the female body that it gets in the way with us truly connecting. And I remember that day saying, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I know that I am being called. I am being called to help teach women how to love, connect with, and embrace the bodies that we live in, no matter what our shape or size. This is not about a nutrition program. This is not about a personal training working out program. Can learn to love yourself deeply, connecting with our body. And some of the challenges that we face in today's world is what we have been taught about our bodies, about what it means to be a woman, about sex and sexuality, that there is so much misinformation out there. There are so many lies, so many stories, things that have been taught from generation to generation, whether it is societal, religious, cultural, familial. There are stories that have been taught to us about these topics that in truly loving ourselves and claiming our value and worth as a woman so we can actually live out our God-given purpose in this world. And this is why I am on a mission to share more about the fact that we have got to talk about this taboo topic. And you're going to hear many, many stories as I go along in these podcasts of some of the crazy conversations that have been had in regards to this topic. The people that want to talk about it, the people that don't want to talk about it, the shame behind the thought of even thinking about talking about it. That is why we have to open up the conversation. So I invite you to open up to the conversation around what you have been taught about these topics and to be curious, to learn more, and to know that maybe some of the things that you've been taught about our bodies, sex, sexuality, sensuality, pleasure, desire, are things that we can maybe take a new look at. When you look at the belief system and you can talk about some of these things, you can then also learn new tools on how to connect with your body. It's one of the things that I do in my book series and in my deeper programs is giving you practical tools that you can use to connect with your body, to learn how to love your body. It is no one else's job to do that but you, that we haven't been given the tools. And when you can then begin, shift your beliefs, connect more and love and respect and value your body as the temple that she is, you can then bring that relationship to all of your other relationships, especially our relationship as men and our partners. Because the other things that we have not been taught is really what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman, and how we were truly meant to complement each other. So I invite you to open up your minds, your hearts, and your souls, and to really think about how embracing your sexuality really can be the key to freedom in life, love, and relationships.
Thank you so much for listening to the Sensual Feminine Life podcast. I'm your host, Jen Bagaisky. If you have enjoyed what you heard today, be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss future episodes. And leave a review to help reach other passionate women like you know they are not alone in this journey to experiencing thriving relationships, exquisite pleasure, and sexy confidence. If you have felt a calling to take this work to a deeper level, this is your sacred invitation to join my free Facebook group, Essential Feminine Life, or schedule a heart-to-heart with me to learn more about how you can take this work to the next level and say yes to your pleasure and your desire.